My brothers and sisters in Christ, it is an ancient tradition in the church that the story we hear in the first reading today, the story of Susanna in the book of Daniel, that it gets proclaimed as part of the Lenten journey towards Easter. In the ordinary form, as we've celebrated it since the Second Vatican Council, it's always on the Monday of the fifth week of Lent. And it, of course, is the longest epistle that we hear of the year. It's a very long reading, but a beautiful one. And the readings in the season of Lent have not only a role in helping to scrutinize our own hearts, but they were always chosen as particularly meaningful for the preparation of catechumens for baptism in the Easter mysteries. And so we need to look at this beautiful story with eyes to see exactly what's happening and the symbolism at play. As a bit of context for the book of Daniel is a little bit difficult to approach. The reason being is there is the version that exists in the original Hebrew, and then there is the Greek version. And there's a differentiation between the parts because many contend that the Greek parts were added on later. Some believe they are original parts. And so you'll see if you look at the book of Daniel, different ways of presenting it. Some passages, for example, in the Latin Vulgate, St. Jerome put all these Greek passages crammed at the end of the account, even though it messes up the chronological order, while other versions present it as a narrative whole by putting, chapter letters in between chapter numbers and the like. Regardless, we get the story of the young Daniel. So this seems to be before the rest of his prophetic ministry, but Daniel's intervention in this story of poor Susanna, who gets wrongfully accused of adultery and is threatened with death before Daniel's prophetic words spare her and bring the truth to light. But there's a lot more going on than this. And an early saint and church father by the name of Hippolytus of Rome wrote a commentary about this, where he saw the story as Susanna representing the church herself amongst the two false accusers of the world. So the two elders that accuse her in the story, he saw as symbolizing those with whom Jesus in the Gospels right now is contending. On one side, you have the Jewish authorities, and on the other side, you have hostile Gentile powers. And so you have the scrutiny of God's people that reject Jesus, and you have the scrutiny of an unbelieving pagan world. And so Susanna represents the purity of one caught in between these hostile worldly forces. And it is, of course, by the inspiration of God in Daniel that one has true sight to speak the truth and set her free. So as catechumens are prepared, this gives a beautiful image of Susanna, who gives an image of the church. And of course, by extension, the ministry of Jesus as existing even amongst the accusations and the ill treatment of the world from all its various forces. But the story also points out that the truth is ultimately victorious. The truth always comes to light. And as Jesus says in today's gospel, he is the light of the world. We, as the faithful, need to take heart in this, that often for the faith we profess, we will suffer. The world will persecute us. We will be mocked at times for what we believe. And if we stick to our convictions of our faith, we will at times find outright ill treatment because our ways are foreign to those of the world. And we'll be pressured to either conform or be persecuted for holding up a mirror to the brokenness of the world and its ways. But the story reminds us that the truth does ultimately prevail. Susanna, in her account, when she realizes she's between a rock and a hard place, speaks very wise words, that she would rather stick to the truth and die at the hands of God or die at the hands of men than to forsake God and die at the hands of divine judgment. Ultimately, she suffers neither. But may we have the same attitude as we approach Easter, to be renewed in our conviction of faith, to stand firm in God's ways, regardless of what the world may say or throw at us, and know that the truth shall set us free. May God bless you all.